One family probably had more vehicles between them than all the other regular characters put together. From the Series 6 episode Car and Garter, when Wesley Pegden was introduced, he came with a literal motorcade of vehicles. Some he owned and others he was fixing up for other people. Wesley had many different Land Rovers. In his first 4 appearances, his Land Rovers were all different models. This might have been a practical issue, but it is credible that an enthusiast like Wesley, who enjoys his motors, would have a succession of different vehicles. Most of the Land Rovers seen up to Series 14 were provided by Huddersfield Land Rover Centre.
In the Loxley Lozenge, Wesley has a green 1960 Series 2 Land Rover, followed by a dark blue 1975 Series 3 with roof bars in Who's Looking After the Cafe Then. In Why Does Norman Clegg Buy Ladies' Stockings, he has a green and white 1971 Series 3 with roof bars, then a 1983 blue Series 3 pickup in Set the People Free. From Series 10 he starts to keep each vehicle a bit longer, but even the first of these is a bit of a rogue. In the Series 10 episode, The Treasure of the Deep, he has a genuine 1977 Land Rover Series 3 in green with the registration UKH45R. But in the Series 12 episode, Come In Sunray Major, he starts off with the Series 3 model, but he ends the episode with a pre-1969 Series 2. It seems it was probably necessary to reshoot the later scene and the original vehicle wasn't available.
Because episodes are not filmed in sequence, in some series Wesley still has alternating vehicles. For example, his vehicles in 1990 and 1991 alternate between the pre-1969 Series 2 again with fake UKH45R plates, a 1982 Land Rover Series 3 in blue, WCW684Y, and the 1975 Land Rover Series 3 in green, OSX666P. The Series 3 model in blue is used 3 times as Wesley's vehicle, then is seen again in the Series 15 episode Concerto for Solar Bicycle, but no longer owned by Wesley. His was then MOG612X, so it's not Foggy's fault. He thinks the man under the car fixing it is Wesley.
OSX666P was refurbished by the BBC with a new cab and also had an electric winch fitted for the Series 13 episode Give Us a Lift. The son of the owner of this vehicle tells me the BBC allowed them to keep the winch, but the vehicle was eventually scrapped. Corgi made a model of this Land Rover in 1/43rd scale, but based on their Series 2 model, not a Series 3. It comes with a figurine of Compo in the armchair, which balances on the rear of the Land Rover to represent the scene outside the Wesley shed, where the chair and Compo fall off the back of the vehicle. From 1992 to 1997, things seem to settle down, as Wesley has MOG612X for the entire period, except it's not one vehicle. Based on the different positions of the mirrors, number plates, rear lights and other details, possibly 7 different vehicles with the same number plates were used. 2 of the vehicles are Land Rover Series 3 and the others all appear to be Land Rover Series 2A models. This might have been an effort to consolidate his Land Rover in the same way that different cars with the same registration number were used for Edie's car. None of the vehicles seen up to this point appear to be still on the road. From 1998 to Wesley's last appearance in Series 23 in 2002, Wesley has a 1988 Land Rover Series 3 in green, Q126JWX. This Land Rover is a hybrid in that it has been constructed from parts of other vehicles to such an extent it does not have an authentic identity. It has a Q registration which is given to vehicles with unknown or multiple origins, as well as things like home-built kit cars. It's been nominally declared a 1998 model by the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority. The vehicle is green in series 19 to 21, then it looks like it's repainted matte brown before series 22, but it looks greenish in some later episodes. It's likely the colour correction done in the film editing process to balance any difference in the lighting condition between shots affected the appearance of the colour of the vehicle in unexpected ways. As the vehicle gets older, it gains some dents in the front wings and the paint starts to deteriorate, showing red paint underneath. This is the only one of Wesley's Land Rovers that might have survived, although not in ideal circumstances. It was last seen in January 2011 in a field near Manchester with some other old vehicles, including a van previously used by the Dingle family in the ITV soap Emmerdale.
Wesley established himself as a car enthusiast from the start. In the Series 6 episode Car and Garter, he's built his own race car. We never get to see it race. Compo is persuaded to drive it to impress Nora, but it all ends up in clouds of smoke.
In his second appearance, the trio helped Wesley to collect a rare Loxley lozenge in the December 1984 special, The Loxley Lozenge. It is apparently a vintage car with a lozenge-shaped racing body, but all that is left is a rusting chassis. Wesley starts to tow the chassis and it accidentally becomes unhitched from the Land Rover. This was apparently a genuine accident, but no damage was done. However, the car rolling back was incorporated in the final edit. The car is a fictional make and model, and many online resources claim the chassis of an Austin Shearline was used for the show. The Shearline was a large luxury car produced by Austin in the United Kingdom from 1947 to 1954. The Shearline was a saloon car, but in the show the rear of the chassis still has part of the original asymmetrical bodywork, which was common in early racing cars. I have contacted vintage car specialists and they cannot identify the vehicle from what is left of the chassis. Wesley's daughter Glenda is getting married in the January 1986 special Uncle of the Bride, so Wesley has been getting a car ready for the big day. This is another car that is often misdescribed in online resources. Most claim it's either a Humber Super Snipe or a Humber Imperial. It is a Humber, but it's a Humber Pullman limousine from about 1950, which was based on the Imperial. Among its distinctive features is the glass privacy panel between the driver and rear seat passengers, which protected Wesley from the exhaust fumes that got into the back of the car. Despite having a liking for his Land Rovers, Wesley also has something from the other end of the vehicular pecking order. In the Series 11 episode, Oh Shut Up and Eat Your Chuck Ice, he is driving a turquoise 1979 Reliant Robin Mark I. There seems no explanation for this choice of car. Even Compo gets to drive it, as it can be used on a motorcycle licence. Not long afterwards, in the December 1989 special What's Santa Brought for Nora Then?, Edie drives it instead of her Triumph Herald. She is just as reckless in it and nearly mows down a pedestrian. Wesley is a bit of an eccentric, so no one should be surprised when he buys a 1971 Ford Zephyr hearse in the December 1990 special Barry's Christmas. It does at least come in useful for transporting Barry in the back when he's drunk dressed as Santa. Ford manufactured the Zephyr from 1950 until 1972, when it was replaced by the Granada.
Wesley is often asked for help with the trio's schemes. In the December 1991 special Situations Vacant, Foggy decides Compo will be a motorcycle courier, and conveniently Wesley has a motorbike they can use. Wesley's olive green military motorbike seems ideal. It resembles a 496cc BSA WM20 made between 1937 and 1955. Thousands of this model were supplied to the British Army. Two different bikes were used in the show, a real bike which was ridden by Wesley and a lightweight replica which was used for the stunts and falls.
When Foggy thinks he has found rare woodpeckers nesting in the woods in the Series 15 episode There Are Gypsies at the Bottom of Our Garden, he persuades Wesley to provide transport so the ladies of the coffee circle can see them. Wesley does not have a minibus, but he does have what appears to be an old ambulance. It is really a 1984 Bedford CF2 chassis with a Dormobile ambulance body. Dormobile made the original campervan conversions on many different types of vehicles and still do. Dormobile also made some other vehicle conversions. It's not an emergency response ambulance, but it would have originally had minibus seats for transporting patients to hospital or a daycare centre. It's a while since Wesley built his custom race car, so in the Series 17 episode, The Thing in Wesley's Shed, we discover the secret invention he has built as an entry in the Mad Machines contest at the Huddersfield show. He has built an amphibious vehicle. It's a boat-like shape with wheels that looks like it's already had an accident. The trio discover him trying to take it on its inaugural drive. It goes well on land, but before it even gets in the water, Foggy falls out and gets wet. When Compo drives it into the lake, it sinks without trace. Perhaps the hearse that Wesley bought in the 1990 special Barry's Christmas was not exactly what he wanted. This might explain why he bought another hearse in the December 1995 special, A Leg Up for Christmas. This time it's a 1933 Austin 6. This vehicle is still on the road and being used for funerals. In Series 19, Wesley certainly has the bug for creating odd contraptions. In the episode Oh Howard, We Should Get One of Those, he has built a motorised bed bearing the fake registration Wes 1. It does Compo a favour, he gets to ride on it with Nora. Then in the episode From Audrey Nash to the Widow Dilhooley, he builds a sofa rickshaw. He convinces Barry to be its first passenger, but Wesley has got his measurements wrong and Barry is unceremoniously tipped out. Barry has not learnt from this experience, so in the following episode, Support Your Local Skydiver, he agrees to test drive Wesley's radio-controlled quad bike. He is told he just needs to sit on it in case something goes wrong. All goes well to start with, but it accelerates without notice and Barry gets thrown off. The quad bike is last seen with Wesley and Barry chasing it through a field. Wesley really does have a vehicle for every occasion. In the Series 20 episode, The Phantom No. 14 bus, Bramwell, played by Stanley Lebor, is trying to find out about the No. 14 bus that mysteriously vanished one day. After several pints in the pub, Bramwell and the trio wait near the place the bus was last seen. So, when Wesley comes into view, driving the chassis of a bus with just an engine, Bramwell is convinced he has seen the Phantom bus driven by an apparition. This is helped by Wesley having earlier been blasted with white dust, giving him a ghostly appearance. Although Wesley will appear in Series 23, his final foray into unusual vehicles is in the final episode of Series 22. Wesley is in love with a fabulous machine, despite admitting "it is going to kill me." The object of his affection is a Kubota KX71 mini digger. He is eager to test its lifting capacity and, conveniently, Billy Hardcastle is enough of an idiot to sit in the bucket while Wesley operates the controls. It lurches into motion, making animalistic screeching noises. Later he is trying out the machine with Tom as ballast. The noise and lurching movements surprise the PCs and they leave the road and end up in a pond, only to discover Billy Ingleton has also been frightened by the machine and is sitting on top of his partly submerged Mini, phoning for the police. Someone who knows only too well how much Wesley likes to tinker with an engine is his son-in-law Barry. Despite his best efforts to stop him, Wesley often gets the bonnet open to make adjustments to Barry's cars. As Barry's career improves, he has increasingly better cars, usually a different, newer car each series. Over the course of 18 series, Barry's 18 cars made 89 appearances. Barry is not always driving his car. Very occasionally he allows Glenda to drive. Other times the car is just parked on the drive or being fixed by Wesley. In early series, as Barry only occasionally had a car, it's entirely likely that they were borrowed from a member of the cast or crew. Later vehicles were most probably hired from a film and TV vehicle agency. Barry's first car was a rusty 1974 Austin 2200. Then he had a 1975 Ford Escort, a 1974 Renault 12, a 1978 Austin Morris Maxi, a 1986 Talbot Samba, a 1989 and then a 1996 Ford Escort, a 1988 Ford Focus, a 1999 Ford Escort, a year 2000 Ford Focus, a 2001 Ford Focus Gear, two different year 2002 Citroën C3s, a 2004 Rover City Rover, a 2004 Volkswagen Polo, a 2006 Ford Focus, and finally a 2006 and then a 2008 Citroën C3. From Series 19 and especially after Compo's death in Series 21, Barry and his cars appear more frequently. The cars used in Series 21 onwards appear to be the only ones still roadworthy and in use today.